Swadika, good evening and welcome to this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. And you are with Nat Bunak and Hathai Teshakitiranan.
Swadika, a very good evening as well. And we'll begin the program tonight with a big story of today where another oil leak at the very same spot in the Gulf of Thailand has been reported today. And it's apparently by the same company which was the culprit of the previous leak. So Star Petroleum Refining, or SPRC, the company behind the oil spill in the Gulf of Thailand 2 weeks ago back in January, revealed today that there has been another spill and has asked for 5,000 liters of dispersants from the Pollution Control Department. And according to the company, the new leak, which is estimated to be 5,000 liters, is classified as Tier 1 or Code Silver, which means that the leak is no more than 20 tons. And so far, the related authorities, including the Royal Thai Navy and the Royal Air Force, have been called in to help. The Director General of the Pollution Control Department, Attapon Charan-Chansa, revealed that the spill in the same area is actually in the same area as the last leak. And the pipeline, which was the source of the previous spill, is currently being repaired. He also said that the 5,000 liters of dispersants being requested by the SPRC is more than necessary to contain the spill. The SPRC was responsible for the oil spill in the Gulf of Thailand on January 25th, in which about 47,000 liters of crude oil reportedly leaked into the sea. And so far, the effects on the marine environment and coastal life, both short-term and long-term, are still being evaluated, particularly on the Marampung Beach, where the spill adversely affected local tourism as well as local businesses as well. Meanwhile, from the previous leak 2 weeks ago, a large number of the gobbles, which are believed to be dissolved oil, have been found scattered along the beaches in Rayong and Chonburi province, and so far it has been sent for analysis. And according to the Marine and Coastal Resources Department, the black gobbles were found on beaches in Samesan sub-district of Sattahip in Chonburi, Kinnery Beach also in Chonburi, as well as on the Napathara Pirom Beach in Rayong. So this is quite unfortunate that we're seeing another oil spill in the same spot as well. So it looks like it's going to be a tough job for the company trying to deal with the oil spill and actually repairing the pipelines.
Exactly. It's really unfortunate news, Kunad, because, this just happened, just 2 weeks ago. And one would know or wonder, how the security is not really beefed up just yet, to prevent another oil spill, which would give quite devastating impacts on the environment and marine life. And it's just really unfortunate that this is happening again. Just probably one consolation is that the amount being leaked today is actually quite much smaller than last time, and is something a tiny bit of consolation. But of course, this happened again, and there has to be serious damage control, and not just that, serious, prevention of such incident being happening again. And moving on to another big story of this week for the LGBTQ plus community and their supporters. There's a bit of quite disappointment that a draft bill proposing for marriage equality or same-sex equality, for same-sex marriage rather, is actually being stalled in the parliament pending the cabinet vetting, and that would take a couple more months adding that into the process. So the opposition Move Forward Party's draft bill on same-sex marriage was dealt a blow yesterday when the House of Representatives voted to send it for vetting by the cabinet before its first reading in the House. The decision has sent the Thai language hashtag marriage equality trending on Twitter as netizens voice that disappointment and outrage. PM Office Minister Anucha Nakasai also told the House that he was assigned by the Cabinet to accept the Marriage Equality Bill for consideration by the Cabinet before its first reading. So the move to delay the bill by the Cabinet prompted a protest from Jalapanamon who's a Bhumjaithai MP representing Chiang Mai province, claiming that the Cabinet's vetting process will cause the first reading of the bill to be delayed by 3 to 4 months even. And during the debate on the bill, Move Forward Party list MP Thanyawat Wongwat broke into tears upon learning that this would actually be delayed by some months, prompting House Speaker Chua Lik Pai to urge him to stop weeping and other MPs to also offer him moral support. So Thanyawat said during the debate that to call for marriage equality is not a call to have more rights than others, but the LGBTQ plus community is trying to tell those in power that they have deprived us of our right to a family, which is a very powerful speech Kunad to have. And it actually speaks volume as well. So the Move Forward Party's draft bill on marriage equality is similar in details to the draft bill submitted by the civil society before, which is seeking to enhance rights of the LGBTQ plus persons to the higher level than the civil partnership draft bill, which still has not yet entered or passed in Parliament.
Well, it looks like a long battle ahead right here with the same-sex marriage, and it looks like a very tough one as well, Kunatai, because it looks like it's going to take so much longer in terms of the cabinet vetting, and it will definitely take so much longer than we expect. And many people on Twitter have expressed their anger and frustration that the parliament and actually the whole government actually not doing anything so that same-sex marriage can finally be legalized.
Right. And if we may just repeat how the speech by Kun Thanyawat from Move Forward is just so powerful, and it actually speaks volume that, you know, they're not just seeking additional rights, but basically they're seeking the rights that have been missing in the first place. And this is something that those in the parliament may take into account as well. And hopefully this will not be stalled for too long. It's just probably a long time coming for a lot of people already.
It's not just additional rights, it's actually a fundamental right to begin with, Kunatai. And on the same day, the progress of the opposition party's liquor bill was also delayed by the House of Representatives when it voted to send the bill to the cabinet for consideration in 60 days. And this can be deemed as an apparent news stalling tactic by the government MPs to delay the process for new draft bills by sending them to the cabinet first. So the liquor draft bill seeks to break the oligopoly in liquor production in Thailand, as well as to allow new producers to enjoy a more competitive market. And during the parliament session, 207 MPs voted in support of the cabinet vetting against 196 who disagreed, and most of the people who disagreed are mostly from opposition parties. The opposition's Move Forward MP Thapipop Limjitrakorn, who proposed the bill, thanked his colleagues in the opposition and some government MPs for supporting the bill. So Thapipop said the bill will break up the decades-long oligopoly in liquor production in Thailand, which involves a handful of rich families, and will provide an opportunity for new and smaller players to enter the market for the liquor production as well as beer. And speaking of that, Thapipop has always been known as a campaigner against oligopoly in liquor production because he himself was arrested 5 years ago for brewing his own craft beer. And meanwhile, several Thai Economic Party MPs, led by former Palang Pracharat Party Secretary General Thamarat Phrompao, voted voted with the opposition against sending the proposal to the cabinet for vetting. In his Facebook post late last night, Thamanas said that he and his group of MPs who were sacked from the Palang Pracharat party back in January will do anything they think is beneficial to the grassroots people or even local liquor brewers so that they have a chance in business as well as opportunity to prosper as well. But the issue of oligopoly as well as monopoly has always been a big issue in Thailand because many of the companies are actually dominated by conglomerates and most of them are family businesses to begin with.
Right, exactly. So this also is trying to seek, equality. It's not the same as same-sex marriage and equality, but it's another equality on another level with businesses to give the chance to SMEs, and it also probably for a lot of people it doesn't really make much sense to to ban people from brewing their own beer, for example. That's is designed to actually give people more chance, not just the capitalists, the major providers, for example. And still on politics, apart from a few disagreements, for example, in terms of same-sex marriage bill, and of course this liquor draft bill, which has been dubbed quite progressive already. There's another issue concerning the BTS SkyTrain, which is also known as the Green Line, and it's not just about the business and the construction of BTS that would serve as commuters only, but this also spill over into politics, where there's been a bit of some known rift between the Palang Pracharat Party and the Bhumjaithai, but the Public Health Minister Anutin Chanwiragun, who's also the leader of Bhumjaithai, also insisted there is no such rift just yet between the party and other government coalitions, despite the differences in their beliefs and their thinkings about how to proceed with the BTS line. So speaking with Thai PBS, Kun Anutin, who's also leader of Bhumjaithai, said that it is normal for people working together to have different opinions, which has nothing to do with their underlying relationship. He explained that the party's opposition to the Interior Ministry's proposal to allow BTS Group Holdings, operator of the Green Line, to carry on operating the line for another 30 years, with fares capped at 65 baht for the entire route, is intended to protect the public interest. So what happened before was during the cabinet meeting earlier this week, 7 Bhumjaithai ministers, including Kun Anutin himself, did not attend the meeting because they didn't want to get involved in an argument with other ministers. So Kun Anutin said the party has already submitted 8 letters through the Secretary General of the Cabinet, explaining his position on the matter and his observations about the Interior Ministry's proposal. When asked by Thai PBS whether the 7 Bhumjaithai ministers will attend the Cabinet meeting next week, Anutin said that they will still attend, but if there is a positive response which is in full compliance with the laws related to the matter. And like other parties, he said that Bhumjaithai is ready for the next election and is now working on the party's policies, which will be made public before the election. So apart from their now known stance on the BTS concession extension, the highlight of Bhumjaithai's campaign ahead of the 2019 general election was the legalization of marijuana for medical research and industrial purposes. And Kun Anutin already signed a ministerial announcement of this legislation earlier this week. And this will pen a Royal Gazette announcement and for the order to become effective about 4 months afterwards. So a lot is happening here in politics, in the world politics, Kunad. We can see that within the ruling Palang Pracharat party as well, where some ministers have been sacked. Well, since last month, there are actually more resigning, and then there was some reported probably rift or lack thereof between Bhumjaithai and Palang Pracharat as well. Something that we have to really keep a close watch on, Kunad. And also, it's quite interesting what has emerged from yesterday, which is a new tactic from the government MPs to maybe stall certain bills they might not agree with by sending the draft bills to the cabinet for vetting, and that would take a couple or more months, and it's something that actually is quite new, to be honest, the tactic. And well, even though it is stalling, but we do hope that certain bills may be passed. Also, another problem in politics, which also happened today, is another lack of quorum in parliament as well. So despite, we have the stalling tactic, and now we have the lack of quorum. So a lot of obstacles in the way for any bills to be passed, really.
And we definitely have to keep an eye on the political situation in Thailand. And we also have the censure debate coming up really soon. So we will have to wait and see how it goes as well. And now let's talk about some more lighter stories. Yesterday, we talked about a social media frenzy that involves a female boxer as well as a former hotel employee who has already been sacked over a fight on Monday night. And we've been talking about how the former female boxer have shown her boxing skills to actually protect herself from such situations. And yesterday, Thai PBS had a chance to interview Pareploy on this issue as well. So recently, Pareploy recently gave an interview to Thai PBS regarding the incident where she kicked a man after he allegedly poured a glass of beer all over her head because she declined his offer to clink glasses with him, and she also took this opportunity to showcase her boxing skills to the reporters as well. And she actually told them that she has won 40 out of her 50 matches during her time as a boxer. Pareploy revealed that she practiced boxing from the age of 13, and now she is 24 years old and already retired from competitive boxing, and she is now a boxing coach helping other girls and women who are interested in Thai boxing. And because of the whole issue, Pareploy insisted that women must know self-defense techniques to get themselves out of any of the tight situations.
ว่ามันจำเป็นนะคะแบบสำหรับยุคนี้เนาะแล้วก็ผู้หญิงอะค่ะแบบโอเคถึงเราอาจจะสู้แรงผู้ชายได้แบบอาจจะสู้แรงผู้ชายได้แบบไม่มากแต่ว่าเฮ้ยเรามีทักษะตรงนี้มีการหลบมีการเลี่ยงตรงนี้พอแบบเราเจอสถานการณ์อะโอเคมันอาจจะช่วยเราไม่มากก็น้อยอะค่ะเหมือนอาจจะแบบประวิงเวลาได้เผื่อเจอคนร้ายหรืออะไรอย่างเงี้ยหนูว่าแบบผู้หญิงเราอะควรแบบคิดได้แล้วอะว่าแบบเฮ้ยเราก็เท่าเทียมกับผู้ชาย
And regarding the Monday night incident, both Pareploy and the man were fined 1,000 baht. The man was fined for dirtying Pareploy's clothes, and Pareploy was fined for assault. Nonetheless, Pareploy thinks that she does understand the Thai law, even if it appears to be very frustrating. คือเราไม่ใช่คนแบบเริ่มเหตุการณ์โอเคหนูก็ทำร่างกายเขาก็จริงแต่ว่าหนูก็คิดว่าแบบคือจะปล่อยให้เขาแบบทำเราแล้วเรานั่งอยู่เฉยๆแจ้งความโอเคแล้วหนูแบบไม่เสียค่าปรับแต่เขาแค่เสียค่าปรับเรื่องจบหรออย่างเงี้ยพี่ซึ่งแบบจังหวะนั้นน่ะหนูคิดว่าแบบหนูจะไม่แจ้งความแต่คือหนูขอเอาแบบต่อยหน่อยหนูแบบในคลิปหนูยังขอต่อยหน้าก่อนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยหนูก็แบบซึ่งแบบหนูว่าแบบกฎหมายไทยมันควรเปลี่ยนได้แล้วอะหนูว่ามันไม่แฟร์นะถ้าสำหรับผู้หญิงแบบหนูโดนนะหนูก็ว่าแล้วแบบถ้าคนที่โดนกระทำอีกอะก็กลายเป็นว่าเฮ้ยเขาจะไม่ต้องโต้ตอบเลยเหรอก็คือโอเคโดนลาดมาปุ๊บโทรหาตำรวจ191แจ้งความ
รอตำรวจมาโอเคอย่างมากเขาโดนปรับเฮ้ยแล้วจิตใจเราอะใครมานั่งดูแลแล้วก็ใครมานั่งเยียวยาถ้าไม่ใช่ตัวเราเองอะค่ะ
Although the incident was actually the first for her, many other women in Thailand remain targets of sexual harassment as well as gender-based violence. And on this matter, Pareploy suggested that Thai schools should include self-defense classes, particularly Thai boxing, as well as teaching gender equality to children. And I think the last one is very important right here, gender equality as well as respecting each other regardless of the differences. This is somewhat lacking in Thai society at the moment.
And of course, we do not condone, violence, but it is actually good to know that some women probably have equipped themselves with some skills such as, boxing, self-defense, even martial arts, if you have the appetite for it, because, in this day and age, you just have to protect yourself in any situations, rather. So, yeah, this is quite, of course, the situation itself is not empowering, but is empowering in where the women, vulnerable groups, even children, learn how to protect themselves physically as well.
Exactly, but protecting themselves with the self-defense techniques is very much an essential skill, especially you're in the society where women and the vulnerable groups are actually at risk of being victims of sexual harassment and gender-based violence. But like you said, Kunatai, we're not supporting the use of violence. Violence is not the answer to everything, but sometimes you feel like, why is it always the women who has to prepare themselves, protect themselves, while men actually feel like they have the privilege to abuse others? And I think it's really the education. It is true that we should equip them with these self-defense techniques, but at the same time, we should also teach them how to respect others as well and not abusing them for whatever reason you're thinking of.
Right. And do share with us what you think about all these issues. We have very interesting issues on politics and also, social and human rights as well. And that's it. We're wrapping up this edition of Thai PBS World tonight, but do catch us like this every weekday at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube and Facebook Live.
And don't forget to follow us on our social media, including our website, ThaiPBSWorld.com, for all the latest updates as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ